Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. Today, I'm joined by Alex, and we're going to be previewing Everton's away fixture to Doncaster Rovers in the second round of the Carabao Cup. Historically not a very good competition for us, Alex. Everton have never won the League Cup. What are your thoughts going into this one?
I guess maybe it's just a good opportunity to get confidence on the board, really. I think, in seasons gone by, I think, maybe going back a few years, I guess now, a lot of fans have always said like, oh, let's give the Carabao Cup a proper go this year, finally maybe try and get some silverware. But obviously I think priorities might have to lie a bit differently this season. And I honestly think the focus kind of has to be on ensuring we stay up again, to be honest. So I wouldn't be like going full throttle for it. Doncaster are a side who have almost started just as badly as us to their season. Bottom of the league in League Two. So about I guess in a way the easiest, but also one of the more challenging opponents we could have got. With their fans will be right up for it. With it being an away tie, a midweek one at their ground, they'll be desperate to similarly get some confidence on the board really, and hopefully kickstart their own season. So hopefully there's a chance for a few other players who haven't started the season to get some minutes, and yeah, hopefully we can just you just hope for a routine 3-0 win, let's say, and get some goals going in, and hopefully get some confidence on board.
Yeah, I hope so. You mentioned there Doncaster Rovers bottom of League Two going into this one. They've won one, drawn one, and lost four. So they're in, as you say, dire straits, just as we are. So it's another one of something's got to give, really. They beat 2-1. They beat Hull City 2-1 in the first round. So they're not. It's not going to be, I don't think, a terribly easy game. We still have to look out for ourselves and make sure that there's not going to be a giant killing. But I mean, as you said there, it's just going to be a case of trying to get a bit of confidence going and trying to get a win early on in the season. I think we definitely need that. Who do you think should start? Because obviously Sheffield United coming up on Saturday. Anyone you'd love to see in straight away from the beginning?
Well, I guess I'd imagine Dublin will probably be starting again. Get some more minutes in him. At a decent level. You'd like to think maybe Chamiti might get a start, give the fans a bit more of a look at him, and yeah, just I guess some of the more. I guess we don't have too many fringe players, to be honest. Just the squad's not exactly enormous, and a lot of the players in it are kind of. I think we're hopefully looking to still try and offload before the end of the window. But I think maybe the likes of Godfrey might start. Maybe another 90 in the tank for Brantford, get some more minutes in him really. And yeah, just like I say, I think it's got to be a case of not putting in a full strength side. Giving a few of the players a rest and just hoping that the players that do play are enough to get a result and get us over the line really.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think I'm not sure about Godfrey starting. I'd like to see him start because I think he's a talented player, and I don't think we've seen enough of him recently under Dyche. But you know, we know how much he loves James Tarkowski, and I can see again James Tarkowski going for the minute to play every minute of every game again this season. So um, I think probably Tarkowski will start with Branthwaite. I'd like to see Godfrey in, but I think he'll probably stick to that back two. There's probably a chance Michael Keane might come in again, try and build his confidence up a bit. Mikalenko could probably come in if he's fully fit. I think Ashley Young will start again. The question is where. Obviously, we mentioned it in the Sheffield, in the Wolves extra time video. We struggled for wingers there. We struggled with creativity on the wing. I can't see him playing Dan Juma. Dwight McNeil's still injured. So I think there's a chance that we could maybe move Young onto the wing and bring in Mikalenko to make his first start of this campaign. In midfield, I'd like to see a little bit of a change. I'd like to see James Garner move into midfield, into his real position again, maybe playing the Decore role in this one, because he's not a right winger. And maybe keeping Dobbin in 90 minutes for Dobbin would be nice. Chimiti would be nice to see him play, so to get maybe a bit more of a hang of the English game at such a young age. So that is, I think, obviously going into this game, getting through into the next round is going to be a massive goal for us. Trying to go far in the competition as it always is. But as you said there, it's going to be a case of getting some more players into the team and getting them used to playing into this system, getting them match fit, Dyche fit, if you will. So, I mean, that then lies the question of who can be a key player for us, because, a lot of our key players are out injured at the moment, the likes of Wobie or Calvert-Lewin. You'd like to think he might give a rest to players like Decore and Onana. So would it be someone like Dobbin or Branthwaite to probably stand up and be counted for and carry us through?
Well, I guess like you say, if Tarkowski starts, you'd imagine he'll if there's a few youngsters in the side, he'll help guide them through or whatever, taking as our new captain, of course. And then of course, I guess you think of even back to pre-season, you had another experience heading Ashley Young. Actually looked quite good when he played at wing. I think it was Wigan and Bolton possibly that he played in the winger position. Definitely did it at Wigan, and looked pretty good. And yeah, just a case like I say, like we'd like to think that maybe Chimiti might manage to get his name on the score sheet, get some immediate a confidence boost for him or whatever. But again, maybe the likes of James Garner, as you say, moving into midfield, hopefully being able to maybe flex those creative muscles a bit more that we know he has, but haven't really got a chance to see too much in action. And yeah, similarly, I guess as well, Dobbin, if he's as lively as he has been so far this season, could also definitely make something happen.
Where'd you stand on someone like Nathan Patterson? Because he's coming for a little bit of criticism, but he's the only fit right back at the club at the moment. Holgate's gone out on loan to Southampton. Coleman's injured, and Patterson's really had to stand up and at a young age come into the team. So, do you think it's worth giving him the start in this game? Because there can be a case for him being rested in this one, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, possibly Ben Godfrey. Again, similarly to Garner, really, the poor lad has never really had a chance to play in his preferred position since probably the moment he really arrived at the club. Really, we've almost never seen him at a centre back position. It's almost been his versatility is almost counted against him, I guess. So it might be a case that he's put out onto the right, and like you say, he sticks with the two centre backs of Branthwaite and Tarkowski. But yeah, I guess maybe from a fitness point of view, that might be a sensible one as well. And give Patterson still a young lad, and still I guess really as well still really getting used to this level. Struggled with injuries a bit last season as well, so he's probably keen to maybe keep him wrapped up in cotton wool, I guess, while Coleman's still out as well, I guess. So yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I'd say so as well, because we had that problem towards the end of last season where there wasn't really a fit right back going into the Bournemouth game. So I think keeping him out would be a wise idea this early in the season, at least until we just get Seamus Coleman back. Obviously, Ashley Young is so versatile, could play right back, could play left back, could play right mid or left mid. So in midfield, if obviously the likes of Garner, I'd want to be seeing getting 90 minutes. Idrissa Gueye probably, I expect to probably play the whole game. Experienced head again in there. Amadou Onana, do you think that might be a case of giving him a rest also? Because I'm trying to think of someone who might be able to come in for him, and unless we're going to pinch someone, obviously the likes of Lewis Warrington's gone out on loan now. Could this be an opportunity for him to maybe stray away from that 4-5-1 formation and change something a little bit? Do you think maybe two up front with Chimiti and Mopai, or putting an extra one in defence or something like that? Because I think one of the problems with the creativity that we've had this season so far has been having too many in midfield, which sounds like a good idea to have, but I don't think it can necessarily always work, can it?
Yeah, I guess there's probably a case to be made for that, and I guess it could also be a case of with Morpeth starting up front, could be a chance to even get some confidence in him. Maybe granted that there's no movement for him towards the end of the window. I know there's been talk about based on the fact that he wasn't brought on at all against Wolves that might be him on his way out, despite there being pretty much no speculation linking him anywhere, to be honest. But I guess we'll see how that one plays out. But yeah, it could be a case of starting him up front. Obviously, you've also got maybe I know Onyango's been on the bench a few times and came on very late against Villa. Could maybe be a case of starting him, seeing what he's like at this playing competitive football back in the first team. Just to
Yeah.
bulk up that midfield maybe, and as you say, give one or two of those starters a rest maybe. So yeah, there's a few options. None of them, I guess, amazing or obvious, but yeah, he's got a few options available to him definitely.
I think this is a dangerous one, this, because I think if we'd have gotten maybe 2 out of 3 wins or 3 draws in the first 3 games, the fans could be a little bit more, give the manager a little bit more leeway to test out some new things in this match. I think it's going to be pretty close to um, what we saw on Saturday with a few of the players, just minus a little bit of the depth with the players like Decore. Again, like I said, there Patterson maybe could come out. Onana probably could come out. But I do expect to see a few experienced heads in there, whilst also seeing a little bit of youth coming in. You mentioned there Tyler Onyango. We haven't seen the best of him yet at Everton. Spent last year on loan at Burton Albion, I think, didn't he? So it's a case of maybe Dyche trying to weigh up a few to maybe come in and make an impact. Obviously, there's going to be some new signings coming in. We know that now, and there's going to be players who we still haven't seen yet this season, like Harrison, McNeil, those types of players that to come back. But I think for this game, we should have just about too much for Doncaster Rovers. Just speculating because I really hope so. So it could also be a case for João Virginia to come back in because he's been quite vocal over the summer about how much he's keen to stay at Everton and fight for his place. Obviously Jordan Pickford's been pretty good the last couple of seasons now. I think he's vice captain. So do you think it's a position to rotate the goalkeeper? I don't think João Virginia's going to be breathing down Sean Dyche's neck too much to get minutes, but it'd probably be nice to see him, wouldn't it? Because we saw him in a couple of the friendlies.
Well, he does definitely now seems to be recognised as our second choice. There's been basically no speculation linking us to replacing Begovic this summer and getting in, I guess, a more experienced backup goalie, if you will. And yeah, as you say, I thought he did look pretty good in the preseason matches I saw him playing. I think particularly I remember at Bolton, him standing out quite well and making quite a few good saves. So probably not a priority to rotate that position too much, I guess. But yeah, like I say, if Dyche is keen to maybe give a few more players, some minutes or whatever, then yeah, it's something to be considered.
Yeah, I mean, just as we've been talking, I've sort of solidified my team and jotted down what I think could be a good one. So I've gone for Pickford in goal. I've gone for Michalenko at left back, purely because I want to move Young up into midfield. Branthwaite and Tarkowski. That's the back, the centre backs that I've gone for. I'd like to see a bit more of them. I think it'd be nice to gel those two together now and have a left footer and a right footer playing together and try and get Jared Branthwaite a lot more game time this season. That would be a first choice. It's going to be a throw up in the air between Patterson and Godfrey at right back. As we mentioned there, I think I'd rather have no recognised right back for this game than wait until January when both of them are injured and we're playing, a team in the top 6 where we need to get a win. I've gone for a flat 4 this time. I've taken one out of midfield. I've gone for Young, James Garner, Idrissa Gueye and Lewis Dobbin in midfield. Lewis Dobbin does seem like one of those raw players who you probably can afford to move from left to right if you want to. We've seen it last season as well with Dyche swapping the wingers sometimes. And up front, I've gone with the front 2 because I don't think we've seen enough of it. And I think if he is going to play Neil Mopai, which is who I've got down here, he could benefit from having Yusuf Chimiti next to him. I think that's I think that's a massive part of why his career at Everton has never really taken off, is playing up front on his own.
Yeah, I think I agree with most of that. I think I could definitely get on board with that team. Um, I mean, again, I think I'd maybe suggest that Dyche will probably maybe not change it. I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, I think we saw this a couple of times, maybe in pre-season, trying the two up front. Um, I think I remember in the first friendly in Switzerland, I think we started with two up front. Obviously, pre-season's obviously nothing too much to go on really, and obviously it's often just a case of getting players minutes, as many minutes as possible, and just getting fitness up. But obviously we know just how much Dyche likes the 4-4-2 system while he was at Burnley, and it's nothing that we've really seen too much at Everton, mostly due to not having enough available strikers for it to work. Um, but yeah, it's definitely something to be considered, and Jack said, I think I could get on board with that team, and I think it would definitely be interesting to see Mope in a front two, like you say, because I think it's pretty well known that that's definitely the way to get the best out of him.
I mean, of course, we've struggled in the Premier League this season, but we couldn't really have asked for, an easier tie. The team bottom of League Two in the League Cup. So I think it's going to be a case of hopefully just scoring some goals, hopefully getting a few players right up to full match fitness, and maybe trying some new players in some positions that we haven't seen them in. Just before we finish, Alex, we're going to go for a score prediction. I think I'm on the. I think we will break our duck here and get our first win of 23-24. I'm going to go for 2-0 to Everton.
I'll say 1-0. I think I agree. I think we'll keep a clean sheet pretty comfortably. I'd like to think. Um, Obviously it's very delicately poised, as you say there. Like on paper, it's probably about the easiest tie we could have got, but at the same time, it's a massive stick to be able to beat Dyche with if we do manage to slip up and lose this match. Basically the worst team in the league pyramid, and we can't even beat them. So it's like I say, it's a bit of a baptism of fire, really. But yeah, I'd like to think we'll have enough, as you say, to get over the line, get our first goal, and get our first win. So yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, well, given the start of this Premier League season we've had, this one's just got a little bit more importance, hasn't it? And it's bigger than the last few first fixtures in the Carabao Cup we've had recently. But yeah, but there's our score predictions. There's our team selections for Everton, Doncaster Rovers versus Everton. Leave yours down below. Who do you want to start? Who do you want to see? Who do you want to see dropped? And leave your score predictions. Yeah. So thank you. Like and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one.